So as you all know by now, there was a number of new cars that got added in with the latest Grand Theft Auto Online DLC, the Los Santos Summer Special. Some of the new vehicles are pretty good, some of them are alright, and some of them are pretty underwhelming. So I thought I would just make this video just to let you guys know which cars you should probably avoid if you're looking at it from a performance point of view. If you do go on to enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and also subscribe for more content to come. If you don't want to miss an upload or a live stream, make sure you put notifications on. Now before we take a look at the first car, I'd just like to mention if you do like the looks of any of these vehicles I mentioned in this video and you still want to go ahead and buy them, then fair enough, go and buy it. I always say that if you do like the looks of some of the vehicles, even though they don't really perform too great, go out and buy it. You might as well spend the money the way you want it. First vehicle I don't think's really that great is the D10. Now I must say Rockstar did a fantastic job with how this vehicle looks. I think they really did a good job with it. I think the customization could have been better. You do have to spend $1.5 million for this vehicle, so it would have been nice to see a few extra things on there. But the performance is where this car falls short for me. If you're looking to be competitive at all in any sports car races, this is not the vehicle to go for. I find that this vehicle wants to slide out too often. You can't really be aggressive enough in this vehicle to compete in races. The top speed in this vehicle is pretty good however, but I don't think that top speed matters at all in most of the races you play on GTA Online. I think it's the second fastest sports car in terms of top speed. However, it's still 6 miles per hour behind the Pariah. Now moving on to the next vehicle, I'm going to be talking about the DR1. The DR1 is one of the latest open wheel cars that we got in this DLC alongside the BR8. I'm just going to go ahead and say that this car is just not competitive at all in the open wheel races. Most of the cars that are winning at the minute are people that are in BR8s. The BR8 is a fantastic vehicle and the DR1 just can't compete with the BR8 in the open wheel races. So the track that you're seeing in the gameplay right now, the fastest lap time I got in a non-custom DR1 was a 103 point something, and in the BR8 non-custom I managed to pull off a 59 point something, both with medium tyres by the way. So the DR1 is not great at all. This vehicle is pretty expensive as well because this is going to cost you just under 3 million and the BR8 is not much more expensive than that. I know this vehicle might seem as a cheaper alternative to the BR8, but this is definitely one you want to avoid unless you're an IndyCar fan. Now the next vehicle I'm going to be going on about is the Taycan. Now the Taycan is up there with some of the best supercars in the game, but we do have a lot of supercars in the game now. For racing on circuits, I believe this falls within the top 10, and for top speed it just falls short. So for me this is pretty disappointing because I don't really like the look of the vehicle and neither is the customization that good. And the vehicle costs 2.3 million as well, so I expected more from it. If you want to be competitive in supercar races, then the Krieger and the Emirates is still the way forward. So from the times that I've used this vehicle, it seems that it suffers from the same issue the D10 has. However, it doesn't feel quite as bad. And what I'm on about there is the car sometimes just feels like it wants to slide out or drift. I've not really spoke to anybody or seen anybody mention online that they're a big fan of this vehicle. So I would say this is definitely one to avoid because it's just not going to be competitive in supercar races, and neither do I think that the car looks too great. Let's hope in the DLC that's coming out later on this year that we do get some new supercars that are able to compete with the Krieger and the Emirates. I've been saying it for a while now, I do think the supercar class needs some more variety because at the minute it's just dominated by those two vehicles. Now I'd just like to quickly go over some of the Benny's vehicles that came out. I think there's 3 vehicles that just aren't worth buying at all because they're too similar to other Benny's vehicles that we've had in the past. Those 3 vehicles are the Glendale, the Peyote and the Manana. If you want to spend your money on upgrading Benny's vehicles, I think you should go with the other 3. I think the Manana and the Peyote should have been available way back in 2015 with the Lowriders DLC. I don't know why they didn't add the vehicles into Benny's back then. Now I know there's some other vehicles within this DLC that I've not mentioned that may not be too great, however I've not spent enough time with those vehicles just yet, so I didn't want to mention them in this video. I want to mainly spend time talking about the more expensive vehicles within this DLC, as those are the vehicles that people are going to be mainly interested in. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave it a like and also subscribe for more content to come. I should have some more content up at my channel at some point covering the new DLC, so keep an eye out for that. Until next time guys, goodbye.